My next guest tonight's an Academy Award-winning filmmaker. His documentaries include Bowling for Columbine and Roger and Me. He's also written his third book entitled Dude, Where's My Country? Please welcome Michael Moore. So much to talk about. You know, we were mentioning, because we've been on the air 10 years, and I think you were coming on the show in the very early days of our program 10 years ago.
First weeks,
and so much has happened for you in that time, to the point, your fame has grown to the point that now companies train employees on how to deal with you if you show up with a camera crew. Which it sounds like I'm kidding, but I'm not. Is that's
no,
true?
Actually, that is true. They make training films on what to do if Michael Moore shows up. Manpower sent out a memo explaining here's what to do if he shows up. You have to follow these rules. And
what kind of rules are they? Because probably they don't want them doing anything that's going to look bad on camera, like pushing your camera crew away.
Yeah, that's rule number one. Don't put your hand over the lens.
Right.
That's because they always do that. There's just some natural attraction to the lens and the hand, you know.
And it always looks like the company's probably up to much worse things, I mean, than they're really doing.
Right. No, most of them are doing wonderful things.
Working for humanity. But I'm saying
Yes.
the minute you say, oh my God, they're here, and you put a hand over the camera, it looks like they're drinking Christian blood in the basement.
See,
yeah.
I don't know what to do, because everywhere I go, you know, I just think, yeah, I should be, you know, doing something, and yeah, I mean, like I'm backstage here, and I'm talking to the permanent temps that work on the show.
Right.
They've worked here 8 years.
Right.
They're still considered temps, and so they don't get the health benefits, and they don't get these things. I'm thinking, geez, this is like General Electric, you know? I mean,
we work for General Electric.
Yeah, I mean, you can't
this is a General Electric organization here.
Can't we give these guys some health care? I mean, they've been here.
It cannot be done.
Years.
It cannot be done. It cannot be done. It cannot be done. No, no. They put the chip in me 10 years ago, buddy boy. You're not going to get anything from me.
I
think General Electric makes a fine product. Have you tried their blender?
I think I might be in the blender after this show.
Yeah. No, we can talk about that. We have these conversations all the time with them about we've actually gotten some people health benefits and some people you can't. It's the way it is.
Yeah. Well, come on, folks. Let's have health benefits for all the employees here, right?
That is never happening. Not on my watch, buddy boy. That's cash. It could be going to yours truly. Understand?
I don't want to get you in trouble.
You won't get me in trouble. They can't do anything. I'm untouchable now.
That's
Conan's
right. Yeah,
too powerful.
once you're past the 10-year part, that's true.
I can say whatever I want.
All right, say something else.
I don't want to get in trouble. Let's move on to other areas, but if you want to come back and slam GE at any point,
I'm all done with
They polluted the Hudson River.
No. They make it...
We'll cut that out in editing. I'm not going to be here tomorrow now. That's going to be the great thing. There's going to be a cartoon rabbit here doing the show.
I'll hire you.
Oh, good. You'll hire me.
Yeah,
oh, that's
you can
great.
be in my next film.
Yeah, you'll have me pulling cable. Like, from having my own show to pulling cable on your show. I took care of you, Conan, and then I won't have health benefits with you.
I'll let you give the Oscar speech next time.
Oh, okay. Now that you bring it up, let's talk about your Oscar speech. That certainly got some attention. Tell us what happened. First of all, were you planning to say those exact words?
Oh, no, I didn't think we'd win. And I was kind of stunned, and I got up there, and, you know, they always tell you to have a speech prepared, and you know, you have a pocket on the inside of both sides, and I reached into the wrong pocket, and I pulled out the speech I was going to give at a reception later that night to the, you know, this group, People in Solidarity Against Everything. And
I hear that's a fun party.
And you know, I had the real speech was in this pocket, you know, where I thank my hairdresser and my tux designer and my agent. And, you know, I really, so. But no, I mean, look, all I said is that I thought we were being lied to about this thing about weapons of mass destruction, and seeing how I made a movie about weapons of destruction, it seemed like an appropriate thing to say. And you know, the 5th day of the war, I don't think anybody wanted to hear somebody say that we were being lied to about weapons of mass destruction. Now it's, you know, pretty much common knowledge that we were lied to about the
So weapons. You feel that you've been vindicated over time?
Well, I don't feel good about that. I mean, because we're still in the war and we still
Right.
have kids that are dying every day.
Yep.
That's what has to stop. And we're in a horrible mess now. And we have somebody in the White House who doesn't know how to get us out of that mess. So.
Well, let's talk about that, because you've made it quite clear you're no fan of George W. Bush's, and you actually have a list of things that questions that you have for him that you want to present to him in person. Is that right?
Yes. In my book, I've got these what are called the 7 questions for George of Arabia, and they are what is your family's relationship with the Saudi royal family, and I document how they go back many years. What is your family's relationship with the bin Ladens, and why the bin Ladens and you have been in business with each other for nearly 25 years? And I provide all the document evidence for this. And why is it on September 12th and 13th, the 2 days after 9/11, the bin Ladens were the only ones that could fly in America? I don't know if you know this or not, but there were 24 members of the bin Laden family living here, and the Bush administration allowed a private Saudi jet to go to 4 or 5 cities to pick them up and fly them all to Boston, where they were then all flown to Paris. And there was no FBI interrogation, no real investigation of any of this.
And we're not talking they just had a lot of frequent flyer miles.
No.
Okay.
This is, seriously, think about this, Conan. The only way, if you remember when the airports were all closed for those 3 or 4 days, the only way you could fly after 9/11 in the United States is if your name was Bin Laden. Just think about that. It's like, what is going on here? And this was approved by the White House. And I don't know what it means, but these are questions I'd like to ask George W. Bush.
Okay, well, let's get to this. How are you going to get into the White House? I think they probably have your name on a list somewhere.
Well,
I'm guessing at the White House. How do you think this is going to happen?
Well, actually, Bush's cousin was my cameraman for Roger and me. So we have, I think, a very close connection. And you think
you're gonna buzz him? George W. Bush is gonna say, "Oh, it's Michael Moore. Come on in," and buzz you right in through the gate.
Kevin's friend is what I'll say. Yeah, his cousin.
Kevin's friend, and then you just walk in.
Yeah, they'll come in. Yeah, because I don't hate the guy. I have no personal animosity toward him. I think he seems like a decent, normal person who was pushed into a job he probably didn't want, and and now he's there and he's trying to do his job. But I think we as the American people have a right to ask some questions about what's been going on, and why won't they release those 28 pages about the involvement of Saudi Arabia in relationship to 9/11? We have a right to know this, don't we? I mean, isn't this something that we, really should...
Well, this brings up another question. Your greatest talent is clearly, making these documentary films. Why not attack this subject specifically in a documentary? Have you thought about doing that?
I'm actually making that film right now. It's called Fahrenheit 9/11, and it'll be out next year. And I'm exploring the relationship between the Saudis, the Bin Ladens, the Bushes, and how Bush has used 9/11 as an excuse for all the things all the agenda that they have, whether it's drilling for oil in Alaska or whatever. Every time they say they need something, well, it's because of 9/11. And to me, I don't know. I mean, you and I, we live in this city. We've been horribly affected by what happened that day, and it dishonors the dead of that day to use them as an excuse for all of their right-wing agenda. And I think it's immoral. And so I'm making a film about that, and I'm exploring how they're getting away with it. And I think once the American people, when they know the truth, they'll act accordingly, as they did yesterday out in California. They're just...
The people know best, clearly.
The people
know what they're doing.
Well, once you have an angry electorate, I mean, this is why Bush didn't want to get involved in the California recall. He stayed completely out of it, right, because he knows when you have that angry mob and they've got their torches, there's a lot of collateral damage. I think you could have recalls in all 50 states right now.
So you actually believe, because we didn't get a chance to touch on that, and we're very tight on time, but your opinion is you believe that the California recall election is a healthy process, that this is going to put everyone else on notice?
I hope it puts the Democrats on notice that they don't need candidates like Gray Davis who act like Republicans but call themselves Democrats. We need people that are going to fight for our side, and I think people will come out and vote for those kind of people, but not people who try to be, Republican light. And that's what Gray Davis, that was his big mistake. And so, you don't want the hamburger version of something when you can get the prime rib in Mr. Universe. So, they went with Arnold, and now I think it's like you said, it's going to be a great year for you.
Well, you've ended again on, you brought it back to me, which is, I think...
And if it's good for you,
if it's good for me,
GE.
GE.
That's right.
And anything that's good for General Electric is good for all of us. Those who didn't clap will be punished. Take their names! Michael Moore's book is Dude, Where's My Country? Michael Moore, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back with Government Mules. Stick around. Well, folks, that's our show. Do you want to thank all my guests? Stay tuned for Last Call with Carson Daly. Goodbye.